$2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, welcome in on a very happy Tuesday to you now, March the 15th, which means, well, madness is here. Who are we kidding? Plenty of college hoops on tap here tonight, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be one hell of a week here when it comes to college basketball. We got a couple of playing games tonight. We got a few more tomorrow. We're gonna talk about those games, and we're going to do it with three of the finest all year long in college hoops as we welcome in Ralph Michaels up the top, Tony Mejia in the house, and what was that for? Dave Koken in the house with us here today, guys. Very happy March Madness to you there, Ralph. It's a fun, exhausting, exhilarating, any other adjective you want to create. It's a fun time of year. What do you got for us up at WagerTalk.com today?
Well, let me remind our viewers, last year at Wager Talk in the month of March, I was #1 in college basketball profit. I love March Madness, and you'll hear me say often, I truly believe there's more value in the NIT than the NCAA Tournament. The first few rounds of the NIT, you get teams that are motivated against teams that are not. You get unique travel situations. You get the scheduling conflicts. So I am a big fan. I have 2 NIT plays today, including a 4-star best bet. And my college basketball plays rated 4% and higher, 32 and 17, 65.3%.
Yep, can't go wrong. It is a fun time of year. Tony Mejia, you know all about it. A lot of basketball going on for you right now, my man. What do you got locked and loaded for us at WagerTalk.com?
Well, happy to be here. Got NBA package with a 4% highlighting that, and 4% highlighting a college basketball package, which has the NIT, the first 4, and the new basketball classic, which takes the place of the College Insider Tournament this season. And yeah, last year was great for me during the NCAA tournament. I had a 23-6-1 run in the early rounds. And so hopefully I can duplicate that. It started really well this past weekend with a 4-0 showing on 4% games on Saturday, and gave most of it back on Sunday because I rode Purdue in the over, and Iowa and the under came through, so that hurt. But we will bounce back, and looking forward to all the basketball, obviously, this week.
All right, plenty to get to here. Although it was conference tournament week, was just crushing. That's what Dave Koken and his clients did. Crush the books, 8-1-1 during conference championship week. Amazing, Dave. And not to mention, you picked another damn golf outright winner, Cam Smith, at 35-1, man. Fantastic job. On fire, Dave. What's in store for us here at Wager Talk?
Yeah, this is why if you see the scroll that's running across the screen and it shows the records, they're good records, but winning percentage doesn't mean anything. It's units. I'm 3-11 in golf the last 4 weeks. Okay, so 3-11. Geez. The profits, there was a 50-1, another 50-1, and a 35-1. So it's the profits that matter. And we're up a ton in 2022 already. College basketball's been good. Hockey's been good all year. I don't have anything for the Valspar yet. I'll get to that tomorrow. We're a day behind because of the weather at the TPC this weekend. One college basketball play tonight. I'm not high volume. Only had 10 plays throughout the whole week in the college conference tournaments, but they did really well. So one game in the NIT for Tuesday night. I don't know what I'll have for Wednesday yet. I haven't gotten that far. Get an all-access package. That's all I can tell you. And you'll be up a lot if things continue the way they are.
Yeah, guys, it's been an amazing run, and it will continue to be 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all access packages, all sports, all plays, including the 5% best bets. Visit Dave, visit Tony Mejia, visit Ralph. That's the way to do it. All right, last night, or yesterday rather, we talked about tonight's games. Today, we're going to talk about tomorrow night's 4 play-in games. Let's do it with Bryant and Wright State. First up here tonight with Wright State opening up as a short favorite, -2. 152.5 was the opening total. And if you guys have watched either of these two teams play, you know 152.5 probably was not going to stay very long. I think they're still running here, Ralph. Bryant, Wright State, how are you looking at this matchup?
Yeah, not only are we talking two teams that like pressing the pace, especially Bryant, but we have two teams that play very good offense and very poor defense. It's strength of schedule. What do you compare? You look at Bryant, they've played the number 352 schedule, and Wright State's played the 329. I will say this, though. Dave talked about winning percentages don't matter. Well, here's where stats are very misleading as well. You look at Bryant's stat profile, they've allowed 37% over their last 5 games. That is absolutely amazing. You look at the opponents they've played since December. They have only played one opponent with an offense better. They've played no opponents with an offense better than 194. Wright State is a top 100 offense, or just about at 100. So I'm going to say this. I went back and forth. You obviously have high-scoring guys on both teams. Peter Kiss for Bryant leads the country in scoring at 25.1 points per game. Wright State, obviously, in Dayton, their campus is only about 10 miles apart. I gave them 1 extra point for home edge here. They only had 4,000 people at their regular season finale. Dayton only holds 13,400, and some of those tickets got divvied up for all 4 teams. So, yes, they're going to have an edge in the crowd, but again, it's not that kind of crowd that's going to make a difference. The one thing I'm going to bring out here, a bettable or potential bettable situation in this game, there's basically nobody in the country that plays fewer bench guys than Wright State. They go 5 deep. They may play a 6th guy. Sometimes if they get in trouble, they have to play a 7th guy. If anyone in Wright State starters gets in foul trouble early, which certainly can happen when you have one of the fastest-paced teams in the country running up and down the court, I would certainly look to live bet Bryant. So I give an edge to Wright State, just a slight edge, but I will be watching, and if Wright State gets in foul trouble, I will be live betting the Bulldogs.
It's been an interesting run for this Bryant program, Tony Mejia. This is the first time as a D1 school that they're looking at tournament time. The last time, I believe, mid-2000s there with Division II. So what do you think we get from Bryant here tonight, or tomorrow night, rather, against Wright State?
Yeah, I mean, look, both teams are going to run. Ralph mentioned it. The Bulldogs throw some press in there, too. So you've got a team, and Jared Grasso's not going to be there very long. He probably gets another gig after their tournament run. But he's a coach that really mixes up his strategy. So you will see a lot of pressure. You'll see some zone. His shooters all have the green light, especially Peter Kiss. But yet they're shooting only 30.7% from 3. That's in the 300. It's not like they're overwhelming offensively. There's a lot of volume there, and they've lost to just all the good teams on their schedule. Most notably, Houston beat them 111-44. So that's never good. A roadie team that really struggles to score hung 83 on them, and Clemson hung 93 on them. So this is a team that you can get into a groove against offensively, and that's what Wright State is going to do. They've got Grant Basile, one of the better post players in the Horizon League. He took over for Ludin Love, who's been there for one of the best players in that league for 4 years. He finally departed. I think he's playing overseas now. But as Ralph mentioned, they don't go deep on that bench, but they've got good chemistry on their first 5, and I don't see them getting into foul trouble here because this is going to be an up and down game. So my lean definitely would be on the over. Hopefully you get the natural flow of things getting you to the doorstep and then game extension down the stretch, leading you over a very high total. Anytime you're over 150 in a tournament game, that's looking to go high. But I think Wright State has played the tougher slate. The Horizon League better than the Northeast, and they've actually got a win over NC State in addition to losses to Marshall, JMU, GW, Long Beach State, who is in the NIT, I believe, Akron, who made this stand. So I think Wright State will be better tested, and we'll hold on and win this game in a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, high score. Should be an entertaining one, Dave. Bryant, that was a pretty impressive beatdown of Wagner, too. 16 of their last 17 they've won. What do you think they show up and do here tomorrow night?
Well, I'll tell you, Bryant's fearless. Okay, this isn't going to – sometimes when a team's making its first ever appearance in the big tournament, you get a deer in the headlights syndrome. I don't think that happens here. I have Wright State as a slightly better team on my power ratings, and I guess you can give them a little bit of a slight advantage. But the matchup actually, I think, favors Bryant. The things that Wright State does well defensively, I don't think Bryant really cares about that. Bryant wants to attack the rim. That's their game when they're going well. And I think they can do that against Wright State. So, to me, this game's a real toss-up. I don't think I'm going to get involved, but if the line keeps going up, I might change my mind and take Bryant. I think the Bulldogs have every chance to hang in this game, and I would not be surprised if Bryant wins it.
All right, wouldn't be surprised at all. Peter Kiss, certainly a determined shooter. That's for sure, man, that kid. That game tomorrow night, guys, playing number 1, playing number 2, or I'm sorry, rather, we'll look at NIT action as Mississippi State taking on Virginia in this one. Virginia opened up as a short favorite there. The total 124.5. This is tomorrow, the opening round here of the NIT. So what do you think here, Tony Mejia? Both teams maybe a little disappointed in how things turned out this season, but who do you give the edge to?
Yeah, I mean, I would give the edge to Mississippi State as the higher seed, but they don't get to host because I guess Humphrey Coliseum is undergoing renovations at an inopportune time. So this will be in Charlottesville, which gives Virginia an edge, especially because in true road games, Mississippi State went 1-9. So, that right there is what the difference maker is, because I do think if you stack them up talent-wise, Mississippi State's probably the more talented team. This has been a real letdown of a team for Virginia, probably the worst one since Tony Bennett's first or second season, that we've seen. Kihei Clark has been there forever, their point guard, but he's so spotty offensively, can't really trust him from the perimeter. And when he's on, he can play. He's obviously heady, he defends, he runs that show, but he's a liability shooting the ball, which is one reason why an already suspect Virginia offense tends to struggle. They do have a nice defensive player. Seems like they always have one catalyst, like a DeAndre Hunter. This season, it's Reese Beekman. Always in the middle of everything, getting his hands on the ball with deflections and whatnot. He'll be a key here. And then for Mississippi State, you've got a former Tar Heel, in the middle, and Kennedy Brooks, and he'll bring it offensively and in the post. So I think Mississippi State has a chance to hang. And in what should be a close, low-scoring game. I think this looks like a race to 60 to me at best. Ben Howland's not going to push tempo, and obviously Tony Bennett is most comfortable when he's milking the shot clock and putting every concentration on defense. So probably a low-scoring game. The total is there as well if you want to flirt with that. But I think Virginia gets it done at home.
Yeah, it wasn't good for Ben Howland. Rumors galore, Dave, about him losing his job there at Mississippi State. That can never be a good sign. What do you think we get here against Virginia?
Well, this is one of those situations where Virginia's at home, but I don't know how much of a home court advantage it is because I just can't see Cavalier Nation being real excited about an NIT home game. This is a team that's used to dancing at this time of year. And one of my trends over the years has been to look to go against perennial NCAA tournament teams that end up in the NIT. They just don't care about it. It goes back to discovered that with UNLV years ago, when UNLV had major tournament team all the time, and all of a sudden they end up in the NIT. They didn't care. They had no interest in it, and the locals didn't have any interest in it. It was like okay, and I kind of think that's the way it is for Virginia here. I don't think I'm going to play Mississippi State because they can't play on the road. And the Howland situation, I don't know what's going to happen there. But I don't want any part of Virginia. So it's Mississippi State or pass for me.
I mean, it was an ugly shooting performance last time we saw Virginia against North Carolina there, Ralph. This is the tough spot for both. Who are you leaning towards in this matchup?
Well, I completely agree with what Dave said as far as motivation goes with Virginia. Mississippi State is a team that I would have a check mark for intangibles. Why? They went to the NIT finals last year. When a team's in the NIT and you get through the first couple rounds and you end up at Madison Square Garden, you want to play. It doesn't matter what title you're playing for. You're at Madison Square Garden, you're playing for a title. They lost to Memphis. They come back. They weren't expected to win. They were a high 50s, a 60s teams to start the year. But the question about Ben Holland, he's still on the hot seat. All they announced is this: if we got an NIT bid, Ben Holland would coach the team. So if he's going to be here or not, that keeps me from betting the Mississippi State side. And then when I look at the matchups, guys, I'm going to put this over-under out there. My over-under is less than 21 combined three-point shots. And if you follow college basketball, you know that's a hell of a small number for two teams. Virginia is number 341 taking three-point shots. Mississippi State is number 347. Neither team takes threes. That lends to play on the under. You're going to have a lot of passes. You're not going to get those scoring three-point shots. You're going to try to pound the ball in. So when I look at the defenses, I'm just going to break down games simply as this. Mississippi State is number 254 in two-point defense. Virginia is number 93. Yeah, I know we're used to seeing Virginia in the top 20s, but still, significantly better two-point defense for Virginia. This game will be two-point shots. They won't even reach 20 combined three-point shots. Gives me a lean towards Virginia.
One tournament appearance, 7 seasons for Ben Howland. The winner of this game, you want to talk about a cure for insomnia, gets to take on either North Texas or Texas State in the next one. Woo! Yeah, that's going to be offensive for you. We do have the one other first four play-in game as well tomorrow. That will feature Notre Dame and Rutgers. Now, Rutgers opens up as a short 1-point favorite. The total, 131.5 in this one. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Dave. Rutgers away from Piscataway. What do you think?
Total toss-up. And it probably comes down to, does Notre Dame hit their threes or not? Because if Notre Dame's hitting their threes, they're probably going to win the game. If they're not, they're going to get beat. Rutgers is going to do what Rutgers does. They're going to be effective defensively. They're going to run a lot of pick and roll, a lot of post-up. And I think Notre Dame's they're not brilliant defensively in the interior. So Rutgers should have some success in operating their offense. But, again, it's whether the Irish are hitting their threes or not. I don't know how to predict that. I made Notre Dame a 1-point favorite here. I think that's what they're going to go off. The line has switched already. In most places, the Irish are the favorite. You're on your own in this one. Maybe Tony and Ralph can come up with something. I've got nothing on this game.
All right, well, Ralph, it comes to, who do you trust more in this kind of toss-up matchup here? Who do you give the edge to? Oh, you're muted, Ralph. I think, there, Ralph. Oh.
My apologies. I was hacking away. My apologies, guys. This will be my best bet. So I am on Rutgers. It's not going to make my card, so let me specify that. A lot of times here on the show, I do give out a client play. I haven't broken down the NIT games for tomorrow, but in this game, I have a best bet I'm going to use on Rutgers, and it comes down to matchups. You know, it seems Notre Dame goes the way Blake Wesley goes. He shoots the most three-pointers, but he has the worst three-point percentage on the team. So he can help him when he's hot, and he hurts him when he gets cold. Much of what Dave said. You know, and a lot of people that follow the Big Ten, you know of Ron Harper, know of Geo Baker. But, you know, Rutgers had McConnell, the defensive player of the year. Well, guess who's going to be on Wesley? McConnell. McConnell will shut down Wesley. That matchup, to me, favors Rutgers. Again, I wouldn't bet Rutgers on the road, but I'm okay betting them in this neutral situation. You know, in a smaller type gym, that's something they're accustomed to. So best bet for me on the show, I'll repeat it at the end. I will be on the Scarlet Knights.
All right, liking the Scarlet Knights here. How about you, Tony Mejia? Who are you giving the edge to in this one?
I mean, I like Rutgers as well, but it is a toss-up game. And as Ralph said, Caleb McConnell against Blake Wesley is going to be the key matchup. McConnell's come out of nowhere this season and really been a stifling defensive player, just a huge difference maker. They really needed that, you know, with Young transferring to Oregon and whatnot. Ron Harper hasn't gotten much better offensively, but defensively he's still a stud and a matchup problem for this Notre Dame squad. Paul Mulcahy, really enjoy watching him play. He typically makes the right play as well. And look, let's remember where we were with this Notre Dame team at 3-4. They had just lost to Boston College. I remember early in the season, I said, there's nothing I like about this Notre Dame team. Nothing that stands out above ordinary outside of this kid, Blake Wesley, who looks pretty good. And he's turned out to be their most impactful player. But that was right before they beat Kentucky. And that game came out of nowhere. You know, stunned Kentucky at the Joyce Center. And all of a sudden they went on from there to win something like 10 of the next 12. And then they were a factor of the entire ACC race in a down season for the ACC. So I really don't know what to make of this Notre Dame squad other than they're resilient. And over the final stretch, Rutgers went 2-4 on their last 6 games, lost at Purdue, lost at Michigan, lost at home to Wisconsin, and lost to Iowa in the Big Ten tourney after a quick start that the Hawkeyes turned around, won at Indiana, beat Penn State. That 2-4 is more impressive than Notre Dame's last 6 of 3-3, where they lost at Wake, lost at Florida State, and then to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament. And their wins are Syracuse, Pittsburgh, and Georgia Tech. So again, that's kind of an indictment of where the ACC was this year. I think Rutgers is better tested, and that will ultimately be the difference in why I think they'll squeak out a victory here. Probably a race to 65. It's a half-court game. You know, that probably also is something that Rutgers is looking forward to because they could play a little bully ball. So I think it's going to be a tight one, but the Scarlet Knights should pull it out.
It should be a good one, guys. Tomorrow night there as Rutgers and Notre Dame do battle. We got some NIT action tonight, 2 of those play-in games. And then, of course, the madness really kicks off Thursday and Friday. So, Ralph, I'll come to you. Just go ahead one more time. Remind everyone your best bet here on Rutgers. That's the way you're leaning. You're still muted.
Again, tell me to do thing once, I can do it. Tell me to do it twice. Anyway, the Gold Sheet College Basketball Stat Sheet is up free. I have the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday games posted on my homepage at WagerTalk, wt.buzz/RM. I'll post the Friday games first thing tomorrow morning. So if you want to do your own work on that. Best bet is Rutgers. Number 1 March last year at WagerTalk. 2 plays tonight.
All right. 2 plays, guys, available right now. Can't stress enough those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages that are up and available at each of their pages right now. Tony Mejia, circle us a game. Which one you looking at here?
Yeah, let's go with the best bet tonight. I like VCU at home to win and cover over Princeton. Disappointing ending to a really strong season for the Tigers. They were the best team in the Ivy League most of the way, and then got clipped by Yale in the Ivy Madness Championship. They got a big on Cornell as well, and then that was a tie game with like a minute to go. So those were the two other best teams in the Ivy this year, Cornell and Yale. But Princeton was always right there, and they just don't play enough defense for me. And I think the way that VCU gets into you with their pressure, the fact that they'll be at home, the fact that they're really annoyed by having their NCAA tournament hopes diced by Richmond of all teams, their arch rival who they had beaten in the first two meetings. I think we'll get a really determined and motivated VCU squad covering 6.5, 7 against Princeton tonight. So lay the points, back the rail.
VCU it is for Tony Mejia. And Dave, was there a game you circled here you like a little more than the rest?
Yeah, I've got one lean on the NIT tonight. I have one play, a best bet. You can get that on my homepage at Wager Talk. And also have some NHL tonight. The game I came closest to playing, so I'll use it as the best bet here, is the Santa Clara-Washington State game. Santa Clara's a better offensive team. I think they're more athletic than Wazoo. Wazoo is the better defensive team. But does that defensive intensity show up in an NIT game? I don't know. I'm not sure. Not that Washington State had designs on making the NCAA tournament. I think they're happy to still be playing. But it's not sold that they're going to come with the intensity that they need to against the Santa Clara team that's more athletic than they are. And the Broncos look good in the WCC tournament here in Las Vegas. They almost knocked off St. Mary's, which would have been a nice win for them. I think they've
I think we got Dave, you froze up just there at the end. Just give us that one more time at the end.
Santa Clara plus the points.
Santa Clara plus the points, taking on Washington State here tonight, guys. And our friends over at the Gold Sheet, they too have a play of the day, and they're going to be looking at another NIT matchup here with Vanderbilt and Belmont, and they like Vanderbilt there with Scottie Pippen Jr. to get it done tonight. Short spread in that one. Should be a very entertaining game. The write-up is great. If you guys want to check it out, visit our Twitter page at Wager Talk. We post these after each show. And then, of course, you head over to goldsheet.com. You have some amazing handicapping tools, more write-ups on the game. Great stuff there at goldsheet.com. Tonight, I'm going to go to Boulder. And I'm going to back the Buffaloes to take care of the Bonnies, who only rotate about, 5 guys, maybe one other one. And they're going to altitude, which is never a fun thing for teams with very little rotation, very little bench, and thin air. So I'll lay the 4 with Colorado to get it done on what is a absolutely disappointed Bonaventure team with all those seniors this year. One more time, best bet recap here, guys. Tonight, Ralph Michaels likes Rutgers. He's gonna take a point there. Tony Mejia, he's gonna take the Commonwealth. VCU laid the 7 tonight, while Dave likes Santa Clara plus the points to outshoot Washington State. I'm gonna back the Buffaloes there over the Bonnies, laid a 4, and our friends from the Gold Sheet, they like Vanderbilt to handle business against Belmont. You heard these guys tell you best bets are locked and loaded here. Dave's got his card up here tonight at WagerTalk.com. He's got a best bet in college hoops. He's got NHL, and he will shortly have his golf ready to go as well. No better time, guys, for you to hop on board with those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages. That is all sports, all plays, including their 5% best bets. Tony Mejia, he is locked and loaded, as is Ralph Michaels. They are ready to go for March Madness here, guys. 3 of the finest at WagerTalk.com. All right, come back. Join us again tomorrow. We've got yet another slate of games as we get ready for round 1 in the tournament. And until then, on behalf of Ralph, Tony Mejia, and Dave Koken, guys, best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.